What's up, guys? This is Zach, and I am back with yet another PBL commentary for this season. I'm doing almost one a week at this point. But this is a match between Jake, the coach of the Pikipeks, and me, the coach of the Hoopas. For this match, Jake is the home team, so for the video, it will be from his perspective of the battle, but the away team, me, will be doing the commentary. So, with that out of the way, I think we're just going to jump straight into it. So, I really like Jake's team. I really like Latios, the pickup that he had pretty recently. And Kartana is always scary. I think a lot of his OU mons are in the same exact speed tier, which is a little problematic for him, but whatever. So, we're going to start off with his Slowbro out here and my Ferrothorn out. For the record, I know Slowbro gets Fire Blast and Flamethrower. I did this because I can live a Flamethrower, and I'm just kind of feeling out Slowbro's moves at this point. Because I've built a lot of the rest of my team for handling the Slowbro, so if he took out my Ferrothorn there, if he had the guts to go for a Fire Blast turn 1, good on him, so he does that. So Kamikaze comes out, and I throw out a substitute expecting a Toxic. I've noticed that Jake really likes the Toxic with the Slowbro. I'm pretty sure every single week he's had Toxic on this thing, so I prepped for that and threw out a substitute. And behind the substitute, I'm going to start Calm Minding. I'm going to start setting up, and if Jake doesn't address it quickly enough, this could get out of hand. So I got my one Calm Mind. He slacks off, probably just to try to scout what I'm going to do. He might expect me to do some damage or something, and he just wanted to get back up to full HP, I think. I'm not sure. But he goes out into Grimace, so since he wasted that turn doing a slack off, I actually do get a second Calm Mind for free. So I have two Calm Minds up behind this substitute, and I have a Gengar looking at me. So Suicune has absolutely no special attack investment here. I'm going to rely completely on the Calm Minds to boost my attack and help Suicune out this week. So he's going to go for a Destiny Bond here. So even with this Destiny Bond, or sorry, he has a Destiny Bond out, but even with my two Calm Minds, I will not end up taking out Grimace. He'll live a little bit, and that's kind of why I brought up the point that I don't have any special attack investment, so I was comfortable throwing out a Scald, knowing I wasn't going to kill. Best thing Gengar was going to do was maybe get a crit Sludge Bomb, or Sludge Wave, and destroy my sub, because you can see here he's going to go for his Sludge Wave now, and it does not pop my sub because my two Calm Minds. So I'm feeling pretty good, and I'm just going to go ahead and finish off this Gengar. So I know Sludge Wave does about 20%, so my substitute is living on a sliver right now. I know pretty much any little hit will take out my substitute, and he brings out Bird Brain. So I'm expecting a U-turn here, and Bird Brain has higher base speed than my Suicune, but I guess Jake is running a speed lowering nature on his Silvally to make it slower than my Suicune. I don't know if that's his intention, but that's what happened. So I intended on him popping my sub and U-turning out, and me immediately getting a new sub back up for this switch in that was going to happen. But since I was faster, I went for sub first, and it failed, and he came out better for that. So he's going to throw out a Leaf Blade on Jazz Hands. Jazz Hands is not defensive this week, but still, that's impressive damage for some. I have a Resist Leaf Blade. So I'm just going to go ahead and Volt Switch on Shipped It here. So Rotom has Choice Specs this week. I was going to just hit things with very fat Volt Switches. I don't know that Jake has any ground types on his team, but I don't think he brought any ground types to the battle either, so I came in thinking I can just get free Volt Switches. Even if he has some resistances, it's still going to hurt. Yuno's out though, and throwing out Psychics against Bird Brain, the Steel type. I'd say it does about 30%, looks like it takes about 70 HP off of him, so I'm okay with that. I'm going to go ahead and switch out to Kamikaze. I can take anything this Silvally throws at me. If he just U-turns for Switch Initiative, good on him, but he's just going to Iron Head. So now I know that he will likely just go straight for the damage on my Lele next time it's out. But Kamikaze is here again, and I'm just going to throw out Scalds this time. I expected maybe an immediate switch or something, but he's going to U-turn as he did before. It would have been nice if I could have gotten a burn on the Silvally as well, because then my Lele can comfortably sit out in front of it. But now Kartana comes in, and this is a problem for me. I need something to take a hit from Kartana. So I'm not scared that this Kartana is going to sweep me or anything, but I would like to stop losing mons and just trading them off like I tend to do. So that Leaf Blade does a little over half on Noggin, and I get some HP back. He can go for a Leaf Blade here if he wants to. It'll be a roll, and I think that's why he doesn't end up going for it, because he knows it's a roll. So he is going to switch out, and I'm going to U-turn. I U-turned just in case I lived. If I lived on a Sliver, I would have been able to U-turn out and have a clean switch into something else, like my Tapu Lele or my Rotom Heat. But I'm going to bring out Rotom Heat, and I'm going to Choice Specs Volt Switch on this Slowbro, and that does massive damage. And I'm going to bring Lele in. I don't think anything the Slowbro is going to do is going to be really detrimental to Lele. He might Toxic it. It seems like that's his most preferred play with this Slowbro. Battlefield gets weird, and he does Toxic. So my Lele suffers a Toxic, but that's not something we're really worried about. Lele's not some bulky mon that's going to get stoled down with Toxic. It does put me on a timer, but I'm here to throw out hits anyway. I won't be staying out very long. So I'm going to throw out a Psychic, finish off Jigglypuff here, and pick up the first KO for Tapu Lele. So this is a big part of the match, I think. He brings out Shredder here. I'm Choice Scarfed, and I don't expect this thing to be Choice Scarfed with the way he's been playing with it, but it's completely possible. I looked at his damage, and it seemed like he had at least a damage increasing nature, and I figured if he had a damage increasing nature, or an attack increasing nature, I apologize, an attack increasing nature, I wouldn't think that he would run Scarf, but at the end of the match he actually told me he did have a Scarf and he did have an attack boosting nature. And because he did that, his Kartana had an exact speed tie with my Scarf Lele, and I got lucky and got the speed tie win. It was unfortunate, but you know, gotta be aware of things like that when you're running a Scarf. If you try to be tricky and run different natures to get a little extra damage in, could end up biting you. And then he misses a Draco, so Jake's having a real rough time of it this match. I expected to take the Draco okay, and then I was going to get the Calm Mind up, so with his Draco special attack drop and my Calm Mind up, I would have been very comfortable, but because of the miss, I'm sitting at almost full HP, pretty comfortable still. So he's going to go for his Draco now that I have a Calm Mind up. It'll do less, but it still does a lot. I mean, Latios is still a hard hitter, not to be doubted or slipped on. I'm going to throw out my own Toxic here. I don't think he's going to appreciate a Toxic on anything he has, so I'm just going to throw a Toxic out. If he went into something fatter like Slurpuff or something, then it would have gotten Toxics, but now I know Christ here has dropped special attack, and he's going to keep throwing out these Dracos. This is a battle I'm going to end up winning because he's dropping his special attack so low. I'm throwing out Scald, thinking I thought he would switch after the first Draco Meteor and the special attack drop, but he didn't. He was dedicated to his Draco. And so at this point I'm pretty sure I'm just thinking, well, if you're going to leave this out, then I'm going to start setting up again. So now Shipped It comes out, which was what I was expecting to happen both times. And I'm going to get my substitute up. If this is not a belly drumming Shipped It, there's nothing it can really do that breaks my sub. I'm full defense, I'm pretty sure. Complete defense for this week. And I'm just going to throw out my own Scalds. Shipped It is going to take one, barely, no burn. So he will be able to do something, and he's going to throw out Sticky Webs. So initially at this point I wanted to have a well-rounded match for my team. But at this point I'm getting set up, and he threw out Sticky Webs, so I just kind of felt like I need to see if I can just finish this with Suicune out here. I don't need to switch anyone else in and deal with this problem. So I'm just going to keep throwing out Scalds. So Birdbrain here takes a Scald, lives on 9 HP, so both Shipped It and Birdbrain are living on single-digit HP. And with each turn, I'm gaining HP, so now that I know I'm faster than Birdbrain here, I'm not afraid to just throw out another Scald. And he goes down, so that's 2 turns that I'm getting free HP recovery, and he loses Birdbrain. He had to sack it off, so he brings in Christ again. Christ is out here to try to just break a sub. He's going to have to Draco to try to break my sub, and he just recovers instead. So he's going to recover back up to full HP, and I'm going to Scald just for damage. Realistically, I could have just gone for another Calm Mind there if I wanted to. It probably would have been much more beneficial, but at this point I was just throwing out attacks. I didn't think he had Recover, and then he revealed it there, so at that point I was like, okay, he's got Recover, he could be in here for the long haul. He's gonna throw out a Psychic, and I do not believe it breaks my sub. Oh, it does, so he breaks my sub there. But I go for a Calm Mind now, so if I went for a Calm Mind earlier, my sub probably wouldn't have been broken, and would have been a little better for me, but you know, it is what it is. I got another Calm Mind up. He did the wise thing going for Psychic instead of Draco, because now his special attack isn't dropped and he can get some decent damage before my next substitute comes up. He's going to Psychic me. I know it won't do more than 25%. And I'm going to throw another Scald out, and he is going to take toxic damage. So he is going to have to recover if he wants Latios to survive. If Latios attacks me here, he will not survive, so he's going to have to recover just in some attempt to keep this thing alive, and I know that, so I'm going to Scald him and just keep pressure on him. I'm going to keep doing some damage, and then the toxic damage is going to rack up, and it's going to eventually become too much for his Latios to handle. So Toxic's going to bring it down to 29 HP. And at this point, I think he realizes he's just got to throw out an attack. He probably should have just gone for Draco to do as much damage as possible instead of Psychic there, but he didn't, so unfortunate. Unless I was going to say unless I had pressure and pressured out his Dracos, but I think he still had some left. I don't think he's used that many. So Shipped It comes out, I believe that's his last Pokemon, and Kamikaze finishes off with a Scald. So that is 4 KOs for Kamikaze, 2 for Tapu Lele. The substitute worked out really well for me this week. I was happy with it. It did exactly what I wanted it to do. The Ferrothorn play was obviously not an advised one. I don't intend on making plays like that throughout the whole season. I just wanted to see if Jake would have rolled the dice. I considered running Anticipation on Ferrothorn just to scout, since that's basically what that move was to scout. It probably would have been much more beneficial to just run Anticipation, and then I would have known if Slowbro had a Fire-type move. But either way, I ended up going 6-1 for that match, and now I'm 4-2 total record. Looking a little bit better. I feel much better after my loss last week, but, you know, it is what it is. You got to move on to the next week. So I think my next battle is against Raul, and I hope he is ready for me, because I am ready to battle him.